If you like to talk about combat sports and you want to join the discussion, click the subscribe button below and the bell notification icon next to it and join Knucklehead Nation. FightersRep 7 Fighting Prides, Saturday, July 27th, 2019 at the Ames Sportsplex in Seal Beach, California. Tickets now on sale at FightersRep.com or watch it live right here on YouTube. Ladies and gentlemen of Knucklehead Nation, I'm here with somebody that we now have to consider, whether you like it or not, a contender for the Coach of the Year in boxing. Coach Manny, thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you so much for being here.
We're 1 week removed from one of, I can't even believe a week's already gone by, from one of the most impressive and incredible upsets in boxing history. Not that much of an upset if you're a boxing head, but to the casual public, definitely an upset. But how do you feel? How has it registered yet? How do you feel?
Absolutely, it's registered. I mean, a week later, right? And I'm still thinking about it. I'm still dreaming about it. I'm still excited about it. Look at this! Wow. Huh?
They did a good job, yeah.
Very nice. They did a hell of a job. As you can see, the banners from to keep reminding us of our victory last Saturday night.
Incredible.
Absolutely, man. I'm extremely humbled and blessed. You know, it's just when you love what you do, you know, you put your heart and soul into what you do, and what you know, everything falls into place. You know what I mean? I've been working with Andy and a bunch of other guys, my boxers that I work with, and I just, what I do is like just try to help them achieve their goals and their dreams, you know?
I know you were busy before. Have things gotten a little bit more crazy?
It's been a week. I've always been busy.
Yeah,
I've always been busy, thank God. I flew back in from New York on Sunday night, and I was right back in the gym on Monday because I know I have other boxers that are depending on me, my boys that depend on me that have fights coming up. So my obligation towards them is to be here. I could have taken a week off, but you know I can't do that. I got to be here with my kids.
Before the fight, I saw an interview where I believe you were speaking to Marcos Villegas from Fight Hub TV, and you said Andy's going to win by knockout. I mean, just an incredible prediction. How did you know? What did you see?
No, what happened was a year ago, Andy was down on his luck, and you know he was kind of like frustrated with the whole situation with this promoter. Things weren't going too well for him. You know, since he wasn't making any money, he was frustrated. He was like pretty much getting ready to throw in the towel. But I had a conversation with him. Actually, in this area right here, we had a conversation. I said, "Hey, kid, listen, don't give up on yourself. Don't give up. Things are gonna change. Just give it a year from now. I guarantee you, your luck will change. Things will be different." I said, "As a matter of fact, I had a dream." I told him, "I had a dream that you be fighting for the heavyweight championship of the world. And guess who?" He's like, "Who?" I go, "Anthony Joshua." And guess what? I also dreamed you were gonna knock him out, and I know exactly what you're gonna knock him out with. I said it, and you know, and look.
Did it go the way you planned it?
No, actually, I mean, you know, I mean, in my dream, it was like a one-punch knockout. You know what I'm saying? So that obviously it didn't happen that way. But that one punch that I dreamt about, it actually did. It did take place. It did. It was one of the key punches in the fight that actually hurt Joshua. But it was a combination of different things that led to the knockout, of course, to the stoppage.
If you don't mind me asking, what was the punch that
overhand
you saw?
right.
Overhand right.
Because I studied Joshua, of course.
Yeah.
And I know that one of Joshua's weaknesses is that he has a great jab. Excellent jab. One of the best jabs in the heavyweight division. But his problem is that when he brings his hand back, he drops his left. So he used a hole for the overhand right. So that's what we capitalized on, of course. And that led us, one of the situations that led us to victory.
Okay, if you can kind of explain from your standpoint what you saw that kind of got Andy the win in there. What was it? What was the weakness that Andy exposed in there besides what you're telling me about? Well, Josh was. How was Andy able to do what he did?
Well, obviously, you win your fights in the gym, so we got him prepared for just that. I mean, we study both ends of the board. I mean, his strengths, but also his weaknesses. Nobody's perfect.
Yeah.
So the man, he's a man. He's human, just like everyone else.
Yeah.
Now, before the fight, people thought he wasn't human, but now you see that he is. Right? He's a man, just like any other man. But he's a great boxer. He's a great champion. He's the most feared heavyweight in the division. And our job was to obviously come in with the game plan, as I said, break him down, break down the body, jab to the head, to the chest, jab to the body.
I love the body
right
work.
Hands. Yeah, I mean, it's just like not being one-dimensional, if you will. It's just looking at different things to obviously have developed a game plan. If one thing doesn't work, then you lead on to another. And that's exactly what happened, One thing was working, but plan A was working, but Joshua did make some adjustments. He's a world champion. He's got a class corner, worldwide recognition in that corner, and so we made a change. Look, he's catching on to that right hand over the top. Now start switching. Start throwing that right hand to the chest. Start throwing that right hand to the body. And when you find yourself in close, go to the body. Break down the body. And I believe that was also our key to victory. Yeah. So like I said, it's a combination of different things, different combinations.
And that's sort of that Mexican style that you guys are talking about. Go to that body
and the head will follow, as they say, right?
Yeah.
And as I said before, he never fought a Mexican fighter like Andy Ruiz. He had never faced anyone like Andy. I wasn't wrong, because I've been studying Joshua.
Yeah.
On the other hand, Andy has fought plenty of big guys. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So he wasn't intimidated by the crowd or by Joshua. He was having fun.
Yeah. And a lot more experience than Joshua. I mean, if we're looking at it objectively,
correct.
A longer amateur career. He's fought at the highest level in the heavyweight division for so long. It was crazy to me that nobody was even giving him a shot to win this fight.
People don't judge a book by its cover, right?
Yeah.
You look at the guy. Most people that didn't give him a chance are people that really don't know anything about boxing. You look at his body, you look at his physique. He's short, he's chubby.
Yeah.
He's got a few extra pounds on him. You know what I mean? He doesn't look like an Anthony Joshua, if you will, or his last opponent, Jimmy Tranquil. Look at the guy. He was
huge,
massive. Yeah. But just not being scared, not being intimidated.
Couple things for me. I obviously gave Andy a shot to win, because even the fight against Joseph Parker, I thought the decision was kind of bullshit. Correct. I thought he won that fight, but Joseph Parker, they were fighting in Joseph Parker's house. They gave it to Parker. So, I knew Andy'd fought at the highest level. I knew his hand speed. I knew enough about him that I thought he had a shot. But the reason I thought Joshua would win the fight was I thought maybe Andy didn't have the power. Because I said to myself, man, if Klitschko landed clean on Joshua and wasn't able to finish him, is Andy going to have enough power?
The difference between Klitschko and Andy is that Andy is a combination puncher, and Klitschko was a one-dimensional fighter.
Yeah.
Name me one time that you have ever seen Klitschko go to the body. One time.
Wow.
Never.
You know what you just said there, that he's one-dimensional versus Andy being a combination puncher? That's so obvious. But, we watch and we don't see that. We don't see that. You as a coach, you're able to see that,
Study the sport, you got to, know what you're getting yourself into, of course.
Yeah.
And study the other fighter, that's my job. And so, look at Klitschko with a great deal of respect, obviously a world champion, but he's that one-dimensional fighter with that big right hand. You take that away from Klitschko, what do you got?
He's done, yeah. Another thing I noticed was I felt like Joshua connected with that uppercut in the third round and dropped Andy with it. But it was part of a combination that he repeated a couple times. Right. I think it was like an uppercut, hook, uppercut, hook.
Uppercut, left hook when he dropped him,
Right, so I felt like right away Andy showed a lot of IQ in catching on to that. And
we worked on this at the gym.
And he slipped to his left and threw that left hook on the way back, when Joshua was out of position and Andy was in great position. And that's kind of what started it all for me. Is that kind of,
Absolutely, angles, yes, take care. Angles, absolutely. being able to dissect the fighter, of course, and again, it goes back to the game plan.
Yeah.
We understood that he had a hell of an uppercut, so we had to make sure that we avoided the uppercut by slipping or blocking. We got caught with it.
Yeah,
What do you do? You live and you learn. That goes back to the drawing board, and this is boxing. You're gonna get hit.
Andy showed tremendous, I thought, athleticism and instinct, reflex
Correct.
in dodging that hook. Also IQ, though.
Correct.
You know, coming back with that left hook after being in fantastic position. I mean, that had to do something with you. How long have you been working with Andy? Because I remember in the Parker fight. Yeah,
I
were you
wasn't
with
there.
him?
Actually, Andy came to me after the Parker fight.
Okay.
He came to me after the Parker fight, and the dad, Andy, and we talked here at the gym, and been here ever since.
Yeah. Now, one thing that Teddy Atlas said, and I watched Teddy
I don't know
Atlas.
what did he say? What did Teddy say?
Well, he was reviewing the fight, and he said that, you know, basically Ruiz behaved like a fighter. He did talk a little bit of a smack, saying that, you know, it took physical fitness back 100 years. Why didn't Joshua go after the body? But I disagree with him strongly. I love Teddy, but I disagree with him strongly on one thing that he said, which is, why didn't he attack the soft body? Now, my reason for disagreeing is anybody who could bend at the waist that fast and generate that much power definitely has some strength in his core. Just because he's got fat on top doesn't mean he's not strong as all hell underneath there. He was acting like the guy's weak at the core. I mean, what is your
look at his record? Look at his resume.
Yeah.
Look at all the guys he's fought. I mean, he's in the gym every day. What does he think he's doing? Is he eating hamburgers and having pizza?
Right.
You know, we're not. We're working, man. I mean, again, as I said, don't judge a book by its cover. This is the physique God gave him. What are you gonna do?
Yeah. As far as strength.
You know? What?
As far as strength, physical, like his body and stuff, how is Andy? Do you think
Super
he's
strong? Super, man. It's incredible. He's so freaking flexible. I thought, dude, you're super flexible, man. you look at the guy, and man, it's like he's super flexible.
Yeah.
He's got great footwork, great mobility, and he's only gonna get better. I believe you. I mean, he's got that obligation now to defend the world. Now that he's a world champion, he's got to work even harder now. You'll see a better Andy Ruiz. You'll see a more trim,
That's
more
scary.
in shape Andy Ruiz. But just, you know, you're not gonna get
Anthony
you're not
Joshua?
gonna get him to look like Anthony Joshua.
Yeah.
No, that's not gonna happen. But boxing wise, this is boxing. This is not a weightlifting competition or what do you call it?
Fitness competition.
You know, this isn't it. This is boxing, man.
Yeah, I mean, he looked incredible in there. Another big deal, obviously, that a lot of people are bringing up is the first Mexican heavyweight champion in history. You know, a culture that's produced so many incredible boxers, but none to ever reach the heavyweight pinnacle. How does that make you feel? How does that make you feel?
Can you imagine just having the first Mexican heavyweight champion of the world? He's gonna go into the history books, man. You know, this is going down in the history. I mean, you can have a second, you can have a third, but the first, man, it's special.
And all because of you.
Not because of me. It's because of the fighter. I'm just here to help.
Yeah.
I'm just here to prepare my fighter and get him ready, and you know, get him ready for, you know, physically, mentally, spiritually, and just get him to believe and get him and just like any of my fighters, to believe in themselves and to know that anything in life is possible when you put in the work. There's no secret to this. There's no magic potion. There's no, you don't have to read a book to become or be in a specific place. You know what I mean? This is just, it's believing in yourself, and it's hard work. At the end of the day, that's all that is. It's just called hard work, dedication, and coming into the gym with an open mind. Yes, and giving yourself to the sport, and believing and trusting your team, believing in your coaches, and knowing that, hey, we want the best for you, and that we're looking out for you, and we want you to learn, we want you to get better, to help you achieve those goals and those dreams. Because if he succeeds, we succeed. There's a saying, the fighter makes the coach doesn't make the fighter. Mm-hmm. Me without Andy, I would be nothing. Right? But I'm here to make sure that Andy gets to where he needs to get, so we can both you don't come up, if you will. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well,
I hope I'm making sense.
No, absolutely, and I love the humility that you show. I think it's important aspect of, I think, combat in general, right? All combat sports.
Stay humble or be humble.
One thing that I thought about, I was having conversations with other people about the fight, was Canelo Alvarez is such an absolute star.
Absolutely.
And I feel like from one moment to the next, Andy Ruiz, I'm not saying he's reached Canelo Alvarez status, but to be the first ever Mexican heavyweight champion, I mean, that catapults you to a level where, you're not too far from maybe eventually becoming somebody as big as a star. Yeah.
Very simple. We got to win. We got to go and defend that title, defend those belts. That's it.
And we don't know where that's happening yet.
We don't know where that's at, where, when, who, against who. It might be Joshua, it might be someone else. But we have that obligation, we have that obligation to the public, to the boxing fans out there, not just for boxing, not Mexican fans, but for boxing fans all over the world.
Oh yeah.
That obligation to go out there and defend that title.
Yeah.
So we got to go back to work.
If we do a rematch with Anthony Joshua, do you see the same result? What do you see if that
I don't know.
happens?
I mean, he's going to make adjustments. We're going to make adjustments. Obviously, we're going out there to win one way or another. I might prepare my guys to fight for 12 rounds. I don't prepare my guys for a knockout. If the knockout comes, then great, so be it. But if not, we got to be ready for battle. We got to be ready for war. We got to go through hell and back, to make sure that we're ready. And for anything that comes our way.
And it's such a feel-good story, too, considering Andy was with Top Rank and they kind of shelved him,
Correct.
For him to, just the way everything worked out, not only in the heavyweight division, but in favor of you, in favor of Andy. I just want to know how you feel about this, because I was thinking about it, too, the way when Brazil was with you, he put up a decent showing against Anthony Joshua.
Yes, he did.
He left you, and he kind of, what happened with Wilder. And then Top Rank kind of shelved Andy, and, his career kind of went astray.
Everything happens for a reason. And I don't knock on anybody. I don't knock on Dominic Brazil for leaving, It did hurt, of course. We had a great relationship. See, this is the thing. When me, particularly, speaking for myself, I devote my entire life to what I do. I devote my time to my kids. My kids meaning my boxers. So they become more than just boxers. They become part of my family. We spend time together. We spend more time here than you do at home.
Yeah.
We develop that friendship, that relationship. So for me to watch, like Dominic, for me to watch him leave, for me to get that phone call and say, hey, we're moving on, did it hurt?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I'm human, man.
Yeah.
It hurt and it still hurts, to be quite honest with you. But I wish him nothing but the best. I wish him and his family nothing but the best. I know he'll be back, bigger, better, stronger. But that's one thing, the other, boxing, it's a harsh sport, man. I mean, unfortunately, but it is what it is. You got to move on.
I just think the redemption from both you and Andy is just such a fantastic story that nobody's really focused on, Just the way they shelved him, he comes back, he wins 3 or 4 titles in one night and becomes like an overnight sensation. And you, obviously, you're the coach that helped lead him there. Another thing I wanted to talk about, I don't say it lightly when I say you need to be considered as one of the coaches of the year. And it's not just for Andy, the reason I think that. Another one of your fighters, Terrell Gausha, had a fight recently, and I actually did a video on the channel about it. I was absolutely disgusted by that result.
It happens. Welcome to boxing.
And let me tell you, that's another fight where the opponent was a heavy favorite. Or I thought for sure Austin Trout would win that fight. But you've done something for these fights. There's something that you're doing for these guys. I mean, Gausha had the performance of a lifetime in there. He looked like I couldn't give Trout more than 2 rounds in that fight, even if I was being generous. And then Andy Ruiz's performance. But just a little bit on Gausha. I mean, how do you feel about what happened there?
I'm extremely proud of my kid, I've been working with Terrell Gausha since he was an amateur. And he could have left a long time ago, but he didn't. He stuck with me through and through. You know, through good and bad, through thick and thin, we've been together. So I have the utmost respect for Terrell. I love him like I do a son, and he knows that. You know, we have a very strong bond, a very strong relationship where, like I said, this is more than just being in the gym and training. We spend time together with our families. You know, he'll come to my house and he'll spend time with me and my family, and it just goes beyond boxing. That's what a lot of people don't understand. And so I'm extremely proud. I know that after the fight, of course, we were all disappointed with the draw because he won.
That was horrible.
It could have been worse, right?
Yeah,
we got a draw. But he spoke to Mr. Heyman, and Mr. Heyman, of course, being his advisor, told him not to worry about it.
Yeah.
He also thought he won. That what we're going to do now is we're going to move forward as it was a win.
Yeah.
And we're going to move on to bigger and better things. So I believe that. And I believe that he'll be fighting for a world title this year.
You know what? It was just an incredible performance. I mean, you can't say anything other than that. I thought he completely dominated that fight, and that's just another credit to you and your fighters and what you're doing here. Thank you so much for your time, Manny. It's such an honor to meet you.
Thank you very much.
Is there anything you want to say before I leave you here?
No, this is your home. You guys are more than welcome to stop by anytime.
Thank you.
This gym is open to everyone. It's a friendly gym. We keep it. This gym is always packed with talent and fighters coming in from different gyms. So I want to welcome everybody, the public, boxers and coaches out there, to come and visit us at Legends Boxing. And as I said, this is everybody's home, and I hope you feel that way, and you're more than welcome, and thank you so much for being here today.
Oh man, you guys were incredible, showed incredible hospitality. Really appreciate it. Ladies and gentlemen, Manny Robles. Thank you so much, Coach.